If you're looking to build a better future for you and your family in Australia, then it's really important to watch this video. Why? Because in today's video, I'm going to discuss the new migration strategy and how it impacts international students. I'm also going to talk about why the Australian government has made these changes and what strategies you should consider if you want to build a better life in Australia in the future. If you stick around to the end of the video, I will also provide you an anticipated date of when these changes will happen. In early 2024, the government will increase the English language requirements for students and temporary graduate visa holders. So what this means is if you're looking to apply for a temporary graduate visa, your English level score will need to be at least 6.5 in IELTS. Now, IELTS stands for International English Language Testing System. So this is one of the requirements that you need to have in order to apply for a student visa in Australia. And in saying that, in order to actually apply for a student visa, your language level score will need to now be 6 instead of the original 5.5. But if you're looking to apply directly for an English program, this is another area that has changed where your score initially used to be 4.5, but now has increased to 5. And then if you're looking to apply for a foundation program at university level, your minimum score will now need to be 5.5. Now, the reason why these English levels have been increased is because the government believes that by increasing the English, this will improve the quality of your educational experience in Australia. It'll increase the outcomes of international students in the labour market, and they believe it will strengthen the integrity and reputation of the international education sector in Australia and reduce the workplace exploitation of international students. The Australian government is also spending a significant amount of money in order to identify which students are genuine and which are not at the point of application processing time. So it's really important that you're clear on what it is that you want to do in Australia and how that's going to improve your opportunities for the future. The government will also be looking at institutions that are targeting non-genuine students to study in Australia, as well as education agents and migration agents too, because their main focus is ensuring that students are genuine when they come to study in Australia. Another big change that the government has also made is the reduction of visa hopping. Now, what this means is looking to apply for a degree or a postgraduate studies, coming to Australia and then downgrading your student visa to a vocational course. So this is something that has been stopped. And so if you're looking to apply for a student visa, make sure that you apply for the course that you specifically want. Otherwise, there is a high likely chance that your application to withdraw from a particular institution will not be accepted. And if the government identifies that you're doing this, they are likely to cancel your visa. There will also be a new genuine student test introduced in 2024 that will replace the genuine temporary entrance statement. So if you can't demonstrate a clear pathway for your career and what it is that you want to do in the future, it is likely that your visa application will be rejected. So although the government announced an increase in the post-study work rights, they've actually now made a backflip and they're actually going to decrease it because they have identified that international students are staying too long in the country. So one of the main things there is that with a bachelor's degree, the initial post-study work rights was for 2 years. That'll continue. But where the changes are around the master's programs, where initially you were able to take a post-study work rights for 3 years, now that's decreased to 2. The mastery by research still stays the same at 3 years, but the other one that's changed is the PhD. The PhD has changed from 4 years of post-study work rights now down to 3. You will still be eligible for a second post-study work rights if you are studying in a regional area. So that will still remain as 1 to 2 years. depending on the location. So there has been an age change as well. The initial age for post-study work rights was 50, and now that's changed to 35 years of age. This has been one of the main big changes. So the question is, why has the Australian government made all these changes? Well, they've identified that the net migration to Australia is quite high, and they've decided to implement these changes to try to reduce the number of international students coming to Australia, as well as reducing permanent residency to Australia at this stage. Because the issue of having so many international students in Australia, that it creates a rental crisis where there's not enough accommodation around for everybody, which means that it increases all the pricing for housing and accommodation in the current economic climate. To me, I believe this is poor planning by the Australian government, and I also believe that it impacts Australia's export in the future. The other reason why the Australian government have made these changes is because they're spending a significant amount of money in upskilling local Australians with the introduction of free TAFE, especially around the areas of vocational education and training, trying to upskill the locals. So from my opinion, what I believe is that it still creates a lower completion rate because it is for free. It's not valued as much, and therefore there will still be a skill shortage at the vocational education and training level in the future. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Australia, but Australians are very picky when it comes to certain jobs, and it's jobs that they don't want to do at vocational education and training level, where international students have the right skills and the right mindset in undertaking those roles. If you found value in today's video, please click on the like button, share it with your friends, click on the notification bell so that way you can stay up to date with any new updates, and also please subscribe if you haven't already. Now back to the video. So if you're looking for strategies in how to overcome some of these challenges, the first one is looking at the opportunity of maybe studying at home first and then looking to transition to Australia in the future through transnational education. The second option here is to look at opportunities where you can come and study English in Australia initially, and then while you're in country, look at the option of being able to apply for a student visa for a vocational course or for a degree or a master's program while you're in country. It's often found that it's a little bit easier for international students to apply for a student visa when they are actually in country compared to when they are trying to do that from home. Now, I just wanted to take a quick pause in the video and just find out from yourself, what have you found most useful out of today's video? And what do you think are the biggest challenges in taking the pathway to study in Australia in the future? Please comment below. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, it is anticipated that the changes will be implemented around the 1st of July in 2024. Please note that this is a guide only, and the government can change these dates either earlier or later. But if you're serious about studying in Australia, I encourage you to apply now, as now is the time to get moving. All of my contact details are below if you need any assistance. And in the next video, I'm going to give you 6 tips on what strategies you can use to afford to study in Australia in the future.